Hello, good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, this is Benson the Storyteller. For my repeat subscribers, welcome back. Look, look at the trees. It's autumn. When you see the trees change color like this, you know it's autumn. It's the beginning of autumn. The season called autumn that follows summer. And the leaves of the trees start falling down in preparation for the beginning of winter, which will be in several months. You see all the leaves. During summer, there are no leaves on the ground. Spring, that also comes before summer, is when the leaves start showing up on the trees. Because in winter, the trees look like sticks. You know, there are no leaves. And then spring, the leaves start coming out, the shoots, flowers and everything. Welcoming the summer. Then when the summer's starting to stop, you see the very sensitive seasonal trees start losing their leaves faster. And then some of these ones that are still green, we'll lose them later on. But there are some trees that are very sensitive to the change in the weather. Yeah. So, guys, I showed you the last video. I was just going to work. You know, my work sometimes entails I have to stay at work night shifts and day shifts. It depends. And so I was at work the whole night, and now I'm going back home. Today is it's called a bank holiday. I don't know why they call it bank holidays in this country, but today is a bank holiday, and so it's another quiet day because usually the bus routes change, the bus timings change, and like now here you see Sundays and public holidays. You see how the bus timings are very few, but on normal days you see the hours. So usually it's very tricky. Like now I have to wait for this at 7:54. You know, that's the bus I have to wait for now. And the interval of the buses are different. There are not as many buses because it's a bank holiday. So how many more minutes do I have? Oh, the bus is almost here. What time did they say? 7:54. Oh, 7:54. The bus should be here any time now. No, I have it's 7:52. So I have like 2 more minutes. My people, let me get my card ready and everything. Yeah. And the thing I like about the bus system here, it's that it has some order, you know, and that's why they're confident enough as to put the timings on the bus stop, because the buses rarely, if they're late, maybe like 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah, the bus might be late for like 1 or 2 minutes, but most of the time the buses are on time. And you find that sometimes when a bus comes to a bus stop, you see, when a bus comes to a bus stop like this, right, and maybe they came 2 minutes earlier than what's written on the board, then the bus will have to stay there. They just stop. The bus driver just stops the bus and waits for the correct time to leave. If he came 2 minutes early, the bus will stay in that particular bus stop for 2 minutes and leave at the correct time. Because if they leave a little earlier or a little later, when they get to the other bus stop that has a different timing written there, they'll throw off the timing. Either they'll be too early, because you know, some people, if you know it's 7:54 at the bus stop, you wouldn't want to come too early and just wait, you know. So you'll come exactly at that time. So if the bus comes earlier, they're going to miss the people who are going to come exactly at the correct time. So time is a big issue in this country. And I think that's why the British have their are very, very keen on time. Because the systems work and they have to use time. You have to be very disciplined in time, you know. Because if you come to this country with the African way of understanding time, there's no bus you're going to get, you know. Because if you're going to come, if it's 7:54, you decide to come 8. Unless your father has his own bus, you're not going to get a bus. So this is how, I think some things are just nurture. It's just the way your society works and the way you grow up. All right, like in Africa, if they have a meeting at 7 and then you go at 7 and then you end up finding people coming at 8, you know, if it happens to you twice or thrice, you won't be going at 7 anymore. You'll be going at 8. And that's how our culture starts, you know, developing. It develops by habit, you know. If you're in a country where people are used to littering, you know, you eat something and then just throw it down on the ground. If that's what people do, you'll end up doing the same thing. But if you're in a country where rubbish is put in the bins, you know, that's the same thing you do, because you'll feel embarrassed to throw rubbish on the ground, yet everybody else, you see how they have these things almost everywhere. Oh guys, this is a recycling rubbish van. You see this? This only takes recycling. All right? When garbage in this country, every time you have your garbage out, there's specific days. Like today was garbage day, it was only for the recycling. And then there's days that it's only for general waste. And then there are days that it's for waste like garden waste and twigs and grass and all that stuff. You know, it's a really organized system. Yeah. Oh yeah, so I was talking about these bins over here. Usually everywhere you go, you find that there are these bins. So you'd be a really big idiot or fool. You see the whatever taking the garbage. So you'd be a very, very big fool to pass this rubbish bin and go and throw rubbish on the ground, you know. But if you're in a country where they don't really see the importance of having these bins, you know, where else would you want someone to throw their rubbish? And that's how sometimes people just end up loitering and littering, and it becomes a culture, you know. So for the little time that I've been in this country, I've got to understand and appreciate that there are things that they do that they actually have it right. You know, not everything they do in this country I agree with, but when it comes to certain things, I think they've got it right. You know, like when it comes to the environment, keeping the environment where you live in clean, you know, when it comes to things like discipline, in things to do with time and stuff like that, when it comes to politeness, you know, just being considerate, when it comes to things like systems, public systems, you know. Oh, here it is. Here's the bus at exactly the right time. Good morning, sir. Thank you. Yeah, guys, so as I said, as I told you, at exactly 7:54 the bus is here. Yeah, it's on time. So Holiday, and as you can see, the bus is empty. People are not working today. It's just a few of us who are from work. Few people like us. Everybody else, people at home enjoying the holiday. So yeah. Yeah, the bus is taking the long way round. I think it's going. There's the biggest hospital in Swindon town. I think it's going to pass by before we head to town. It's a new this bus route. It was number 14, but now it's 14A. So they've changed the bus route a little bit. So it's going a long way around. But I'm not in any rush because today I'm off. I've just left work and I'm going. Yeah, there's the hospital. That's the hospital over there. I think we are going through the hospital and then we'll go back to town. I think now the nurses and maybe the doctors who've had a long shift will be heading back home now. So it's going through the hospital and then we'll be going to town. Yeah, let me show you guys the hospital. Yeah, guys, this is the hospital. This is the hospital. And as you can see, these are the nurses. Coming from work. where I alighted yesterday at this petrol station over there. Now we are getting to the bus station. It's empty, it's a bank holiday, no one's here. Wow. It's usually very packed. Usually very packed. Yeah guys, so I've just alighted at the bus station and I'm taking a different route home. I'm not in a hurry, so I don't necessarily have to take the shortcut. I just want to show you guys this other route. Yeah. So yeah, that is the bus station. And that over there is the Swindon train station. So if you want to take a train out of Swindon, the train station and the bus station are just next to each other. Just next to each other. They're not very far apart. And yeah, but usually when I leave the bus station, I take the shortcut over there that I took yesterday when I showed you guys the new bus station that was being built. But still we're going to pass it over here. But yeah. because it's a strip that just crosses, goes across. Yeah. So, oh, they've been working a lot. I see they've... Interesting. Yeah, this is the new, still part of the new bus station. You see, it's just a strip. You see the bus stops? It's just a strip all the way. You see them? They're lined up all the way to the other side. So, yeah. All the way down there. They're lined up both sides. So this is going to be the new Swindon bus station. You see? The bus stops over there. And the trees that were planted. So let me take this way home. It's gonna be a very nice bus station. Honestly, it looks like a ghost town today because it's a bank holiday, and in this country during holidays people usually just like to stay indoors, or maybe there are not a lot of people on the streets. Yeah. Oh, Victory Center. I didn't know there's a church. Oh, this is the Redeemed Gospel, I think, church. I didn't know they had a branch here. Oh, this shop is closed. Guys, I like this shop. You see this? This is a Polish shop, yeah? And these Polish shops, they have the closest thing to, you know, there's this fermented milk. The fermented milk that we drink back at home. You know, like mala. Yeah, those Polish shops, they have something called kefir. It's the closest you can get to our traditional African fermented milk, and that's where I usually buy it. So this road goes to the main center of town. If you go that way, it's the main center of town. So this street is practically, it's the outskirts of town. And this is also a nice hotel. It's called the Weatherspoon. Sometimes when I want to go and eat out, I usually come here sometimes and sit on the balcony over there. The Sir Daniel's Arms up there, because I don't stay very far from here, so sometimes I just don't want to cook. I come and sit here. It's usually packed. Today is just a funny day. People are indoors, you know, just staying in the house with their families. I told you this country is a country where people are it's very conservative, you know. People keep to themselves, and that's why it's very hard to make friends and have relationships and bonds with people here, because everybody's just busy. No one has time for anyone else, you know. No one has time for anyone else. It's everyone for himself. And what I think what that does to you in a country like this is that it develops your independence. You know, you learn to rely on yourself. You learn that no one will be there for you. It's just you and your God, you know. Here, if you're not serious, you'll end up in the streets. It's a very unforgiving country. You have nowhere to run to, no one to go cry to, you know. This is a music shop. Yeah, and most of the shops are also closed. Yeah, most of the shops are closed, you know. The interesting thing is that back in my country, even holidays, you know, people are businessmen, and business and money doesn't have a day off. It doesn't have a holiday. So I'm sure some countries where people are used to hustling, even if it's a holiday, people open their shops. Some people just go to work, you know. And yeah, oh yeah, so yeah, and one of the things I've also learned, you know, about this country is that when you come here, you have to have a vision and you have to be very, very disciplined, you know. And sometimes I thank God that when I came to this country, I'd made a decision in my mind. I knew what I wanted, you know, and I knew what brought me here. I came here to work, you know, and build up on my life, you know. And if you come to this country, all these European countries, these foreign countries, and you're not focused in life, it's easy for you to lose track. Like, for example, in this country, alcohol is extremely cheap. You know, alcohol is extremely cheap. And I remember there's a guy we came with, and he really, it's like, when he came to this country, he didn't know why he didn't know what he came to do. He didn't know what he was after, you know, what he wanted out of his life. And so he was an alcoholic before, when he was still in Kenya. And when he came to this country, he realized that alcohol was very cheap, and it was cheaper than back at home. So what does the boy do? The guy just started drinking. He started drinking. He forgot that he's in a foreign country. He thought he's somewhere in Kenya, somewhere in Kibera, drinking somewhere in Nyalenda, I don't know. And he ended up skipping work, you know. He doesn't show up to work. Sometimes the guy shows up drunk. You know, the clients can even smell his breath, his stench of alcohol follows him into the room. I mean, guys tried to talk to him. We tried to like tell him, dude, you know, this country can derail you, because if you're not used to some of these things and you're not focused, you end up just drinking, you know. You end up caught up in the culture. You forget about the hardships back at home and what brought you here. And before you know it, the Home Office is sending you a letter. You've lost your job. The Home Office is saying, all right, you came here under work permit, a work visa. You've lost your job, so technically your visa is not valid because you're not working. And so you're given maybe 30 days to pack up your things and go. And in a country like this, once that happens to you once, the probability of you applying for another visa and getting it the second time round is practically nil. Any criminal record, anything, you overstay, anything like that, and then you end up leaving the country, for you to reapply and come back, no. So I keep telling people, when you come to these foreign countries, you always have to have it at the back of your mind that this is not your country. And you always have to have it on the back of your mind that you're a visitor. And you have to act accordingly. You know? Even in your own country, sometimes you can't just misbehave. So why would you go to someone's country to misbehave? If you came here to work, you know? There's alcohol back at home, and even stronger alcohol than the one here. So if it's about alcohol, you can just simply leave and go home and drink. Yeah? So yeah, guys, so this is the route yesterday I took through town. All right, but now I've come from this other direction. I've just gone round. Town goes all the way this side. So yeah, so guys, thank you for watching my video. Remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. This is Benson the Storyteller, and please follow me and catch me on my next video. All right, goodbye.